If you're a Camptosaurus player, you have an incredibly irritating voice and you're probably from Australia. If you're a Struthiomimus main, do you even exist? If you're a Kentrosaurus player, there aren't a lot of people that like you, but you don't let that stop you. And you love being an asshole towards every other carnivore in your way, so it works out. If you're a Styracosaurus player, you love being a badass, and you don't mind getting yourself into scuffles because 90% of the time, you're gonna make it out alive. Unless you're playing on a community server, that is. If you're an Albertoceratops main, you're like Styracosaurus mains, but you put no thought into your gameplay. If you're a Deinonychirus player, you're poised and confident. You're a great guy when it comes to hanging out with others, yet you're not afraid to step in and back yourself up when people want to get ugly with you and your buds. You'll probably die in the process, though. You also can't seem to get this theme song from Prehistoric Planet out of your head. If you're a Stegosaurus player, you're really upset with the fact that your dinosaur isn't invincible. If you're a Pachycephalosaurus player, you're super self-deprecating when it comes to your looks, and you take your frustration out on everybody. If you're a Barsboldia main, you're just sick of waiting for Shantungosaurus to be added into Evrima, so you opted out for a much cheaper option. If you're an Eotriceratops main, there's just no excuse for you. You just love ruining other people's day even after the update that slows your running speed way down. If you're an Iguanodon player, you've probably made great accomplishments in life, but nobody's around to notice. The accomplishments in question is your winning streak in thumb wrestling tournaments. If you're an Anodontosaurus player, you're an actual psychopath. You hunger for anything that involves violence against your worst enemy. Anything near you gets straight up terrorist vibes as you're constantly on watch. Not because you're scared, but because you're selecting your next victim. Your haunt isn't cute, it's a war cry. Anything that dares to stand in your way is likely to meet a brutal and straight up messy death. Despite all of this, you get the most respect from your group because you're dealing with T-Rex, and nobody likes T-Rex. If you're a Lambeosaurus player, you're a masochist. That's pretty much all there is to it. You just enjoy being one of the worst herbivores in the game, I'm sorry. If you're an Amargasaurus player, you're just happy that developers finally gave a shit about your main. If you're a Deinonychus player, you picked this dinosaur on accident. You also probably wear one of these, and it's concerning. Don't really ask why, it's just a lucky guess. If you're a Latinaventrix player, you're happy that the official raptors are getting attention, but you're probably also outside my house right now. If you're a Concometer main, good for you. If you're a Metriacanthosaurus player, you were put on this earth to annoy the shit out of everybody, be it in-game or otherwise. If you're a Megalania player, you have no idea where you are and why you're here. You also wonder why you're not the main venom-based creature in the game, and the fact that you no longer have a tail attack. Seriously, Alderon, what the fuck? If you're an Allosaurus player, there's nothing virtually wrong with you. You're just not a really happy person in real life. If you're a Ceratosaurus main, you're basically a Styraco main, but with teeth. Except you become more cocky with your abilities and you take shit from absolutely nobody, if it ends up being your downfall. If you're a Daspletosaurus main, you really wish that the guy that voted for Rex picked a Roastion instead. Your diet also probably consists of Doritos and M&Ms. If you're a Suchomimus player, you're awesome. When you're not beating the shit out of everybody mercilessly, you enjoy having a nice swim in the river. If you're a Pycnonemosaurus player, you're one of two things. You're either fully aware of developers' bullshit and wonder why they don't just call you Carnotaurus, or you just really love bullying Allosaurus mains. If you're an Alioramus main,
You were also here.
if you're a Sarcosuchus main, you are constantly making unfunny jokes about you being a Florida man. Whether you actually live in Florida or not doesn't even matter. If you're a Thalassodromius or a Kaiwakia main, you are just waiting for these guys to become irrelevant. If you're a Spinosaurus main, you, my friend, have a crippling addiction for all things Godzilla and other similar properties. You also swear on your very existence that this thing can win against a T-Rex in a fight. Speaking of, if you're a Tyrannosaurus Rex main, fuck you. Okay, but seriously, if you're a Tyrannosaurus Rex player, you can be many things. For starters, you are either that 9-year-old kid that only knows and wants to be T-Rex for the rest of your gaming experience. You're an unironic clan member. You're extremely salty about the fact that T-Rex is no longer the rock'em sock'em awesome bro dinosaur that doesn't die from literally anything. You're that one guy on the server, aka like 90% of all community server members, to make every excuse in the book to prove that you were in the right when you needed 5 T-Rexes to take on one Ceratosaurus, or you're pretty much all the above.